Hello and welcome back to the channel where flavor knows no borders. This is Food Around Me.
Berlin is not just about the wall, techno clubs, or endless German beer. Here, there's a street food legend that almost every Berliner has tasted at least once in their life: currywurst, German sausage, sliced into chunks, drowned in tomato ketchup mixed with curry powder, and served with crispy fries. It sounds simple, yet that very simplicity has turned currywurst into the soul food of German fast eats. Its origin goes back to the years after World War II, when a woman named Herta Hewer mixed American ketchup with British curry powder, then poured it over German sausages. A culinary invention born out of Allied forces. And surprisingly, it became an icon of Berlin, symbolizing the fusion of East and West, past and present. For Germans, currywurst isn't just food, it's memory. Late-night snacks after too many beers, quick lunch breaks for workers, or long tourist lines in freezing Berlin winters. For Americans, it's both familiar and strange. Familiar, because sausages and ketchup are all American. Strange, because that curry twist suddenly brings in the aroma of India. Some joke, currywurst is like a hot dog that studied abroad and came back speaking half German, half Indian. In Germany, currywurst doesn't just exist on the streets. It has its own museum in Berlin, a dish so humble, yet elevated into cultural heritage. That's Germany for you, taking sausages very, very seriously. There's a dish whose name alone sounds both intriguing and a little intimidating: Sauerbraten. Roughly translated, it means sour roast, but in reality, it's a kind of sweet and sour pot roast, marinated for days in vinegar, dark beer, and spices before being slowly braised. In America, pot roast usually brings to mind a cozy Sunday dinner with family. In Germany, though, Sauerbraten feels more like a history book written in meat. Every tender, vinegary, spice-soaked bite tells a story of centuries of war, scarcity, and of course, to Germans' eternal love affair with beer. For many Americans, the first reaction is disbelief. Wait, you soak beef in vinegar for a whole week and then eat it. Is it still beef at that point? But it's exactly this backwards logic that makes Sauerbraten so fascinating. To understand the dish, you have to go back to the Middle Ages, before refrigerators, vinegar and beer were survival tools. Germans created a method: marinate beef in vinegar, dark beer, bay leaves, and peppercorns for 3 to 7 days, then braise it low and slow until it melts in your mouth. The tangy sweet balance from vinegar and sugar, plus a gravy thickened with crushed rye bread, made the dish an icon. Simple yet complex, rustic yet refined, just like the German spirit itself. Scientifically, the long soak in mild acid not only tenderizes the meat, but also enhances Maillard reactions during braising, giving it both deep umami and caramelized notes. For Americans, it seems odd to pickle your beef, but in European logic, if food can't be eaten fresh, the solution is, make it even better by transforming it. Culturally, Sauerbraten represents the German sense of discipline and patience. This isn't fast food. It demands time, restraint, and beer on the side. In the US, everything is rushed. In Germany, Sauerbraten whispers, good things take time, depth requires patience. And here's the twist: the original Sauerbraten wasn't made with beef at all. Legend has it, the first version used horse meat. Yes, in times of scarcity, horse was a valuable protein source, and this very recipe transformed tough, chewy meat into something legendary. Beef only came later, turning it into the modern dish we know today. So when Americans gasp, "Oh my God, horse meat," Germans just shrug, "History, my friend, history." In the end, Sauerbraten is more than food. It's a cultural statement, turning hardship into artistry, balancing sourness into harmony. Perhaps that's why this dish mirrors the German way of survival: resilient, deliberate, and always richer with time. If you think pork hock can only be crispy and roasted, Germany will surprise you with something else: Eisbein, also known as Schweinschacks. It's a massive pork knuckle, salt-cured and slowly braised until the meat falls right off the bone. The skin isn't crispy, but glossy and fatty, the flavor infused with vinegar, beer, and herbs. The word Eisbein literally means ice leg, because, in the old days, its bone was used as a blade for ice skating. History right on your plate. In Germany, Eisbein is usually served with mashed potatoes, sauerkraut, and yellow mustard. The fatty richness of the pork is perfectly balanced by the sour tang of sauerkraut and the sharp kick of mustard. Its flavor contrasts at its best: heavy yet refreshing, fatty yet acidic, chaotic but structured. The German philosophy of food in one dish. For Americans, the first reaction is usually, wait, that's a giant ham swimming in sauerkraut. Yes, it's huge, it's shiny, and it looks nothing like the neat pot roast they know. But once you try it, you'll understand why it's considered a soulful dish in many parts of Germany, especially Berlin. Here's the fun twist: in southern Germany, pork knuckles are usually roasted crispy, the version tourists often call Schweinschacks. But in the north, especially Berlin, Eisbein must be soft and braised. To cooking styles, to personalities, just like the Germans themselves, the North calm and heavy-hearted, the South lively and festive. Eisbein is not just a dish, it's an endurance challenge. That pork knuckle is the size of a forearm, dripping with fat. Eating it solo isn't for everyone. That's why Germans usually pair it with several big mugs of beer, to wash down the fat and lift the spirit. Eating Eisbein without beer, you've only completed half the German experience. There's one German sandwich that makes Americans panic just by hearing about it: Mettbrötchen, a bread roll stuffed with raw minced pork, mixed with onions, seasoned with salt and pepper. Yes, raw pork, no cooking, no grilling, no frying. For Germans, it's a casual breakfast, eaten with coffee, as normal as bacon and eggs. But for Americans, raw pork screams danger, bacteria, food poisoning. The funny thing is, thanks to Germany's strict hygiene standards, Mettbrötchen is perfectly safe, and deliciously rich, sweet, and oniony. Germans casually chew raw pork in a cheap sandwich. Now that's a cultural shock. If you ever travel to southern Germany, especially Bavaria, you'll notice long lines outside small bakeries. People aren't queuing for burgers, but for something that looks like a burger. This is Leberkäse, literally liver cheese, though don't be fooled, it contains neither liver nor cheese. Leberkäse is made from finely ground pork or beef, mixed with fat and spices, baked in a loaf pan until golden on the outside and tender inside. The result, a steaming, aromatic meatloaf that Germans slice thick, slap into a crusty bread roll, and top with spicy mustard. Voila, a hot, hearty, grab-and-go German fast food. To Americans, Leberkäse feels both familiar and strange. It looks like a burger, tastes a bit like a hot dog pressed into a block, but the eating ritual is very European. No ketchup, no cheddar cheese, no fancy toppings, just pure, savory, steaming meat. And here's the twist: while American fast food keeps piling on cheese, sauces, and charred patties, Germany goes minimalist. One slice of hot Leberkäse in a bread roll. Simple, filling, unmistakably German. If Italy has pasta, Germany proudly presents Spätzle, a rustic, eggy noodle dish that's creamy, hearty, and comforting. Unlike the sleek spaghetti strands, Spätzle is short, chubby, and often looks like playful little dumplings that just happen to fall into boiling water. Its roughness is its charm. In southern Germany, especially Swabia, Spätzle is almost a culinary identity. Made from flour, eggs, and milk, the dough is pressed through a special tool directly into boiling water. Once cooked, the noodles are served with meat gravy, or, picture this, chewy noodles tangled with gooey, stringy cheese, crowned with golden onions that crackle at every bite. Every spoonful delivers a wave of richness and warmth, like a German winter hug on a plate. To Americans, Spätzle might be surprising. Pasta in the US is often polished, al dente, and elegant. Spätzle, on the other hand, looks rustic, even clumsy, but that's exactly why it feels so honest and soulful. And here's the twist. What looks peasant food to outsiders is celebrated in Germany as the ultimate comfort food, a nostalgic staple tied to family dinners and cozy kitchens. There's one dish, deceptively simple, that has sparked centuries of debate. Kartoffelsalat, potato salad. Why? Because every region, every family, has its own recipe, and everyone insists theirs is the true one. In the South, especially Swabia and Bavaria, Kartoffelsalat is made with vinegar, oil, and hot broth. The result, a light, tangy salad where every slice of potato absorbs the flavor like a sponge. In the North, however, the dish takes a creamier turn, potatoes mixed with mayonnaise, often with pickles and diced apples. Rich, sweet-salty, indulgent, and dangerously addictive. The fun part, these differences often lead to endless family debates. Picture Christmas dinner. One aunt brings northern-style salad, another uncle swears by southern style. And suddenly, instead of discussing world peace, the table is divided over which potato salad is the real potato salad. For Americans, this can be confusing. In the US, potato salad usually means mayo-based, creamy, picnic style. But in Germany, Kartoffelsalat isn't one recipe. It's almost a philosophy. Are you team vinegar or team mayo? And here's the twist. This humble side dish becomes a symbol of identity. It's like a culinary passport. Your choice reveals not only where you come from, but even your personality. Vinegar fans are often seen as traditional, disciplined, maybe a bit stern. Mayo lovers, more laid-back, modern, and easygoing. So in the end, Germany's potato salad isn't just food. It's family drama, regional pride, and cultural psychology, all hidden inside those humble slices of potato. Blutwurst, also known as blood sausage, is one of those dishes that makes many Americans shake their heads the moment they hear the name. Made from pig's blood mixed with meat, fat, and grains like oats or barley, it's definitely not for the faint of heart. But for Germans, it's a nutrient powerhouse, packed with iron and protein, and has been around for centuries. In the cold winter months, a hearty slice of blutwurst with dark rye bread is like a natural energy booster, warming both body and spirit. What's fascinating is that blood sausage isn't just German, it's celebrated across Europe, from France to England. So while Americans might cringe, Germans simply smile and say, "You don't have to love it, just know. It's part of the bloodline of our culture." Have you ever imagined eating pickled herring rolled around a pickle? Strange as it may sound, that's exactly what Rollmops is. One of Germany's most iconic bar snacks, often served the morning after a heavy night of beer drinking. Rollmops are essentially fillets of pickled herring, tightly wrapped around a gherkin or onion, and held together with a wooden skewer. The flavor is a bold wake-up call to the senses, sour, salty, fatty, with that unmistakable touch of the sea. Germans believe that just one bite of Rollmops can ease the foggy hangover almost instantly. What's even more fascinating is that herring is rich in omega-3 and heart-healthy fats. Which means while Americans might reach for a greasy burger after a party, Germans turn to something that both sobers you up and boosts your health, a kind of traditional detox with serious style. If there's one cake that represents the sweet seduction and quiet power of Germany, it has to be the Schwarzwälder Kirschtorte, better known as the Black Forest cake. Don't be fooled by the dark name. This is no creepy dessert, it's a symphony of flavors: dark chocolate, whipped cream, juicy cherries, and the bold touch of Kirsch schnapps. Sounds like just another cake, right? But hold on. In German culture, this cake is more than dessert. It's a symbol of elegance, celebration, and yes, sweet authority. The name Black Forest doesn't mean it was baked in the woods. It's connected to the Schwarzwald region of southwest Germany, famous for its cherry brandy, Kirsch. Legend has it that when someone first layered chocolate cake, whipped cream, and Kirsch, the result was so intoxicating it felt almost dreamlike. Historians debate its exact origin, some crediting pastry chef Joseph Keller in the early 20th century. But whoever invented it, the Schwarzwälder Kirschtorte quickly became the queen of German celebrations. Here's the thing. Germans don't eat this cake every day. It shows up during special occasions, weddings, birthdays, festivals. Which means the cake is not just food, but a social ritual, a statement of status, taste, and budget. In America, cakes are often about excess. Thick frosting, neon colors, sugar overload. The Black Forest cake is different. It's balanced, sweet but not cloying, rich but not heavy, and always with that twist of Kirsch liquor. That's where Americans get shocked, liquor, in a cake. For Germans, it's perfectly logical, because food isn't just for filling the stomach, it should carry depth. Bitter chocolate, tangy cherry, warming alcohol. A layered complexity, much like German history itself. To understand its appeal, let's break it down scientifically. Dark chocolate boosts dopamine, giving instant pleasure. Cherries, their acidity stimulates salivation, making flavors pop. Whipped cream, fat melts on the tongue, signaling safety and comfort. Kirsch liquor, ethanol subtly raises the heart rate, creating warmth and excitement. In short, the Black Forest cake is a neurological masterpiece. It doesn't just taste good, it hacks your biology. Here's the most fascinating part. While Germans see it as tradition, today the cake has gone global. From New York to Tokyo to Hanoi, you'll find versions of the Black Forest.